Hello, everyone. Hello. I just finished editing my reaction. It's uploading right now. So, okay, here's a disclaimer. This is a live. If you're joining right now, we're going to discuss the episode. There's going to be spoilers. I'm going to spoil the whole thing because we're going to talk about the entire show. So if you haven't watched the episode, make sure to go and watch the episode. And yes, we will talk about the entire series, and then we'll also talk about this episode. And I have so much to say, like literally so much to say. I feel like every time I watch an episode, I need to take notes or something because then I always forget what I want to say. But yes, what an episode. Also, I really thought this episode would be longer for some reason. It was only 1 hour, and I was expecting it to be like more. I was expecting it to be like 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'm so in awe with this episode. Also, standing ovation for Bas acting in this episode. It really went out for corn. Yes. I'm here finally. Hello everyone. Eng, Winter, Ari. Hello. So, okay. I don't know where to start because I have... Okay, I'm going to try to take my breath. Okay, let me start off by saying how much this show is amazing. I want to say, first of all, before we go into depth into everything and before I tell you the little things that I didn't like or the little things that I thought could be changed, this show is top-notch quality. This is really like a drama. Can it even be categorized as a BL? I don't know. This is really like a TV show, a TV drama. It's really breathtaking and it's really entertaining and fun and exciting. And I enjoyed every second of it. And I loved the acting, the cinematography, the shots. I thought everything was top notch. I loved it so much. Beyond Cloud really raises the bar for TV shows because they give us really intense and unique storylines, and I love it so much. Hello. I agree, the show is amazing. Yes, right? The show was amazing. The actors, they need to all get freaking awards. The Oscar goes to all of them because they are amazing. They really brought the characters to life. They are incredible. The soundtrack was insane, incredible. The shots that they gave us, they really gave shots that were never been seen before. The type of shots that they gave us, the type of transitions. We had amazing CGI. Amazing. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this episode because so much happened. Okay, so remember in the last episode, the episode ended with them dying, technically, and then Time waking up with his grandma, and the grandma saying, hey, can you help me get the measuring cups? Him going to the wardrobe, gets the measuring cups, and find his mother's diary. And then the grandma says, you got two options. Are you going to read it or are you going to put it back? Then what happened to that? Did we just completely ignore that scene? Because in this episode, first of all, we start off not continuing the last episode, but then I really thought in the last episode, they really had me thinking that scene was important, that somehow there was something in the mom's journal that him making this choice would be something important to the plot. What happened to that? Nothing. Just singing Jeff Satcher at the end. Y'all, when you see my reaction to the first note of the song, also you should check out my cover because I covered it. Also, it's on my channel, on my YouTube shorts. Make sure to check it out. When I heard the first note of Why Don't You Stay, I was like, no! Why you do this to me, Beyond Cloud? Are you Beyond Cloud really stopping us saying, Jeff is gone, you will not get him again? Why you do this to me, Beyond Cloud? You really like to rub the wound because I know Jeff is gone. He's not coming back. Why didn't Jeff stay? Those are the lyrics of the song. I think it's to be assumed that he didn't open the journal, but did that do anything to the plot? I was crying my heart out. Okay, it's so crazy, but I didn't cry. Usually, you know me, I cry at finales, and I'm very emotional. Somehow, even though this episode was full of emotions, I didn't cry. I wonder why. It's really nice of him to keep Bas and Tonka together in the end. I have thoughts about this, guys. We're going to talk about this. I have so many thoughts. But the great thing is that this show is so good that I really don't mind picking on it and telling you what could have been made better or what could be changed, because this show is still amazing on its own. But I still think it was not as good as it could have been. He never read it, so he never knows anything about Great and him living with him. I thought I was going to cry, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't cry. For a second, for like a split second, they really made us believe that it was going to end the same as Dead Friend Forever. Like it was going to end with like the open ending or them being stuck in the loop. I really thought, oh no, oh, it's the same ending. But then they just... I think it was established from the time didn't open the book. Oh, okay. Best scene was when Korn and Tone died together. Fuaiz done dirty again. Instead of DFF, we got Eclipse. Oh my god! So funny you say that, because if you watch my reaction, I literally say, this is giving me the Eclipse. Literally, I said that. So you and I, we know what's up. We have the same mind. Okay, so let's rewind this episode and then I will tell you all of my thoughts. So basically, in the last episode, they were about to die, right? And then the last scene is Time and the grandma. So at first, I was thinking, okay, are we back to the timeline number 1? Are we back to the timeline number 2? Are we back to a totally different timeline number 3? Are we in his head? We don't know. We start the episode kind of if everything was just still going on. Time living his life. He's clearly not dead. And then my first thought was, okay, we're back in the loop, right? But if we weren't back in the loop, it's really complicated to kind of put it into words, but our first timeline technically is a timeline where everything happens. Then we have a second timeline where everything happens, but he goes back in time and changes things. But then timeline number 3, I was like, why are we not back in the beginning? Does that mean we're starting a different timeline? Because things are different in this timeline. So Time and Great actually meet at the hospital, and Great is saying that he's having difficulty breathing. So my first thought is, okay, we're back at the beginning of the loop, but because the loop has been going on for a while now, Great is really starting to feel the wound of his gunshot wound, basically. He's really feeling it, even though he's not shot in this timeline. So that's why he went to the hospital to get a checkup. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so that means we're repeating the loop again, and the more we repeat the loop, the more he can feel something's happening to his body. So we got the checkup, and then, you know, suddenly they start flirting, and suddenly Great say, hey, okay, that one shot where Great leaves the hospital and smiles, I was like, what? It was so odd, because it made me feel like maybe Great was a psychopath manipulator and he was like tricking everyone, and we were basically watching him in his own Truman Show, because that little smile was so creepy to me. So I was like, wait a minute. What is going on? Is Great in on it? Does Great actually remember all of his past loop life? And is it toying with us? That was my first thought. Because at first I was trying to understand what was going on. Plot-wise, it was times 4 minutes that his life was never affected by him reading that journal. So his grandma's alive. He was able to get close to great, and time is generally a kind of person. Time lived the whole relationship with great in his 4 minutes. Yeah, you're so right. So yeah, so basically, this was the timeline. So basically, Great's 4 minutes. It took me a while to catch up on that as I was watching the episode. I think it took me like almost half. I understood as soon as we got the montage of them flirting and being together, and it feeling like it was during the months, because I was like, wait a minute. In my head, this was a what if, what if. So at that point, I was like, oh, okay. They're in a coma, or they're actually dying right now. That's in their head. And I finally kind of put it together when they were in the bedroom, after they were feeding the cat, and after the turntable, the vinyl was like kind of like, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's in their head. We're not in a third timeline. We're not in a timeline at all. We're in their head. That's when I figured it out. Time one line is actually time. Second timeline is great memories. Third timeline is just memories. Yeah, so timeline number 1 is actually like the original timeline. Timeline number 2, where he goes back in time and goes 4 minutes in the past, that's his 4 minutes. That's when he gets shot. He's in the coma, and the 4 minutes that you see is this entire timeline, but him changing it. So that actually did not happen. So basically, useless. This all along, we thought, oh, he's changed, he's doing better. No, that was all in his head. It didn't even happen. To be honest, I would tell you, there was still a few loopholes, I think. I think that I'm someone who really likes to think a lot, and kind of every time I watch a show, like even if it's like Stranger Things, Umbrella Academy, shows like this, I always find loopholes. Like, I am so big on loopholes. I'm like, no, that and that didn't make sense. This shouldn't be like this. And so sometimes I hate myself because I'm thinking too much when I should just like lay back. But I did find a few loopholes in this series. They fell in love in every timeline. Well, there's only one timeline. There's only one timeline. The second timeline is in his head. That was Great's head. So technically it didn't even happen. Like, the first timeline when they save Nan and they go to like the safe space and they have this beautiful love making, that did not happen. That was in his head. And this is why I'm so mad, guys. This is why I'm so mad. Because technically, the only thing that really happened is when they slept together, when he was drunk, when they were at the bar, and he was like, what do you want to do? And then they went back home and they did it, but it was like it was not love. The only time they did it when they were in love was in the timeline where he goes back in time, which never happened, which was in his head, which was his 4 minutes. That's why I'm kind of annoyed. I'm annoyed because the whole thing that we watched kind of was in his head and that actually happened. Which made me believe that if that timeline happened in his head, that means time doesn't know about that timeline. Time had a different timeline all in his head. Like, time was literally just having a whole timeline of flirting and dating in his head. But in real life, none of this happened. So all of this kind of was like, it made me feel like those two characters, if you think about it, like the actual real thing that happened, how did they even fall in love? Because in the timeline where they fall in love, it's a timeline that never existed. So I was just so confused. Like, when did they actually fall in love? We never actually saw their relationship blossom in the real timeline, in the real actual original like timeline. Do you think we'll get a season 2? No. That is not like Beyond Cloud to do season 2. A special episode would probably be like behind the scenes. The same as Dead Friend Forever. They were like, oh, special episode, and special episode is like a behind the scenes. He tried to be good in the end, not letting his parents come. Yeah. Stunned Great was working a regular job. I didn't think his cute self could survive without the designer gear. What's also scary is the whole Manny story. Everything we saw was just because Great didn't kill her. Also her revenge. But no, she did die. Yes, she did. So basically, you know, in that other timeline, we saw the girl, the woman that he hit with the car. We saw her at the temple kind of doing voodoo stuff. And we're like, oh my God, maybe she's the one like manipulating this whole thing. Turns out that was all in his head. That never happened. So every time something happened and it's in someone's head, I'm like, so that makes the whole show obsolete because none of it actually happened. That's why I'm not a fan of like things happening in the head. I wish that the actual timeline where he goes back in time actually had happened. And to the end, literally to the end, I thought we were going to go back to that timeline because in that timeline, Dome isn't dead. So Tonkla never killed Great and Tonkla is alive. So I was waiting until the end. I swear I had hopes. But okay, so do you remember the second timeline where Great does not go back in time, right? He hits that woman and flee the scene. Crime. Then attempted murder on Dome. Accomplice, maybe potentially murderer because maybe Dome was not even dead when they threw him in the water. Crime. Then literally we find out he goes to this art exhibition. Wait, I need to talk about that art exhibition after because what the actual hell. And then that woman kind of fall down the stairs. Great, unbothered. He's like, oh, this is annoying. Let me go. Like, what? Crime. Great in the original timeline is such a bad guy with bad judgment who commits crime. And then at the freaking end, Tonkla, before dying, says in front of our police officer, I will also talk about our police officer because boy, did that police officer serve no purpose. That police officer, why was he even there? So bad at his job, so useless. Why is he even there? Okay, so Tonkla, before dying, says to Korn, yes, you're right. Your brother also killed my brother, so I killed him. Our police officer hears all of this. He has ears. He's like, oh, so Great is also a murderer? Interesting. Tonkla dies, blah, blah, blah. This police officer has this information. He knows that Great killed Dome, but he's like, oh, I'm not gonna arrest him. Let me, oh, no. I'm a police officer for what? No, I'm not gonna arrest people for crime. I kind of like him. I'm good with it. What? And excuse me, but the cherry on the cake, guys, the reason I literally laughed out loud is when at the end they're on the boat. They're on the freaking boat. And Time said, oh, you're probably not going to go to jail because they know you're a good guy. You're a good guy? You're a good guy? You committed 3 crimes and you think they're going to let you out of jail because you're a good guy? Are you freaking for real? Like, in that timeline, he's not a good guy. He committed multiple crimes. Multiple. And Time being like, you're not going to go to jail. And to me, that was like the writers kind of were like, I have this theory that the writers kind of didn't want to make Great go to jail because they wanted to give us a happy ending. So they're like, how can we get a happy ending after Time literally almost killed someone? I mean, he literally attempted murder on that man on the hospital bed. And then Great, who literally committed free crime. How are they gonna make them not go to jail? Oh, we're just gonna say they're good guys. They're good guys, so they're not gonna go to jail. I was baffled because, come on. And this is why I thought the ending was unrealistic and too idealistic. I think, okay, hear me out. Everybody's gonna hate me for that, but people watch BLs and they want a happy ending. Oh, we want a happy ending, fluffy butterflies, everyone is together. No, I think this show should not have a happy ending. Are you gonna hate me for that? I think that the ending was way too idealistic. Like, what the hell? Nobody's going to jail. Also, can we talk about, guys, can we talk about Great and Time got both shot in the chest. Time got shot 3 times, and all of them 0 wounds, not in a wheelchair, skipping around, jumping up and down, because no bullet shots, we survive. We're not even in a hospital bed. We're not even like in therapy trying to learn how to walk again. No. And this is why this ending is way too idealistic. Like, Time got shot 3 times. 3 times. And you're telling me he's just skipping around and boating? No. The police officer was taken off the case in the first episode. Well, it was taken off the case. How convenient. I was like, good guy. Yeah, right? Come on, Time was just saying sometimes to make his boyfriend not fight. I think it would have been better if, okay, here my ideal ending. We see basically them having like a reunion and be like so happy, and then boom, we see the sirens coming and Great having the cuffs, and then Time going to his ear and saying, don't worry, I'll break you out. And then boom, we get Prison Break season 2. Now that would have been fun. That would have been a great ending. Now, if Great went to jail and Time, who's now has bad judgment too because he almost killed the guy in the hospital, is going to go and get him out of jail. And then they could have done a new show where Great is in jail, Time is going to jail to try and get him out, and we have Prison Break. Now that would have been epic. It was so perfect, I think. Too perfect. Yeah, my theory was always that Great and Time would stay in the loop. Me too. I had this, I thought, the reason why I think they shouldn't have stayed in the loop is just because then it would be too similar to Dead Friend Forever. So I think they couldn't make them stay in the loop because of that. I expected only one person to survive. You always have the best ending. Yeah, you can be a writer. To be honest, guys, if I was writing those shows, they would be so good. I'm going to start a GoFundMe and start an entire company and make the best shows ever. I'm like AI. I learn from the mistakes of others, and I take the information, and then I know what works and what doesn't. And I also know what people like and what they don't. And so I can make something that's great. But, this show was still amazing. It was still amazing. It's just the thing that I think should have changed. That's just my opinion. Okay, I have other things to talk about. Please be a writer. Yeah, I will. To be honest, I really want to actually make one show, and I have an idea in my head, and I've been talking about it with my friend. And maybe one day I'll use my own money and I'll invest and I'll make a little mini series. But for that, I will need time. So let's talk about this entire thing with the art exhibition. What was that about? So, oh my God, now that I think about it, I have so much to talk about because there's another thing that I also didn't like. Okay, so the art exhibition. So this entire time, when we saw Great and that woman, we thought, how are they connected? Why are they in that weird room? And now we found out it's an art exhibition. It wasn't even in his head. This actually happened. And what the hell was with that woman? that woman was like so sus. Is she the one that manipulated the 4 minutes? Who is she? I have questions. I have many questions. I need to talk to Beyond Cloud. Is it going to be on your top this year? Of course, it will be. I think it's my top 2 right now. Right now, I think it's my number 2 because I have a number 1 already. Definitely, the show was great. I will watch it. Take your time. I never understood modern art. I wanted one last NC scenes. I am trash. Don't we all? Don't we want all a last NC scene? I think, yeah. I don't know how it would have fit in there, though. I don't know. But yeah, they could have given us one more. What's your number 1? My number 1 is the only one right now that I'm watching as my number 1. I love it so much. That's why. And I love it even more than 4 minutes, which I never thought I would. But 4 minutes in terms of like cinematography and storyline and everything, it's definitely the best out of everything this year we got. Okay, so that art exhibition, what was even the point? Every time something happens, I'm like, what was the point? What was the point of that art exhibition? It didn't add anything to the plot, right? Because they were just there and then they left and that's it. This entire time, they tried to make us believe that this was happening in his head. This entire time, it was just an art exhibition. It was so weird. I have questions. First of all, he was like going into a bar and he got lost into the art exhibition. What does that mean? Was that woman God? Maybe she was. It's like doom at your service. Maybe that woman was God and she was manipulating them. I don't know. And what happened to the lady? Yeah, what happened to her? And then that girl that was in the art exhibition with him, she even fell down the stairs. I was so confused on that part. I was just like, huh? What? I think just one more episode. Okay, so here is what I said in my reaction. I think this show was amazing, but this show does not work as an 8-episode show. This show should have been 10 episodes, and Beyond Cloud should have invested. I'm sorry, Beyond Cloud, but you should have invested because we didn't have enough time to connect really to the characters. The characters, they were always in a different timeline, in a different perspective. And I found it hard to connect with them. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but to me, Tonkla felt more like the main character than our main character. To me, Tonkla was the compelling center of this character because Tonkla was the center of everything. He's the reason why all of this happened because Tonkla is the one that killed Great. So Tonkla is literally the center of the show. And sometimes I felt less connected to Time and Great because I was like, Time and Great, good, very good, like very in love. Why we don't know because they actually never told us how they fell in love. Actually, if you rewatch episode 1 to episode 7, how did they fall in love? I don't know. I still don't know to this day how they fell in love. Because they fell in love in a timeline that never existed, that was in his head. So how did they actually fall in love in the actual original timeline? Because the original timeline, they hated each other, met at the bar, got drunk, had sex, never saw each other again, and suddenly they're in love? Why? Is it because in their head they are connected and everything that happened in their head, they actually have the memory of each other? Because all of this was kind of like, I fell in love with the idea of you. I never actually fell in love with you. I never actually dated you. I fell in love with the idea of you that I made in my head when I was dying, right? Right? And he got done dirty at the end. Tonkla was the main. Couldn't care less, like, aside from Tonkla. I felt bad because I was like, isn't it so ironic? Like, I love Bible so much. Like, I think he's the most amazing actor. And his character was still compelling, but I didn't care that much for them. And I was like, is it interesting that they should make me care for the main character, especially when the main character is freaking Bible. And I'm like, why didn't I care that much about them? Why did I care more about Tonkla than them? Was it intended? I don't know. So that means the woman who had the art exhibition gave those two power to look into 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm guessing. I think she's God. I don't know. You think that's what it is? So that woman in the art exhibition is the one that gave them the 4 minutes because they're the one that found the exhibition. Why even? I don't know. Did she know they were gonna die? Like they didn't really answer any questions. Literally. It's all about not telling us what the hell actually happened. Grant and Time never talked about knowing each other as kids. Oh, it's so true. You're so right. I forgot about this. You're so right. They both experienced that 4 minutes and remember it. And in real life, they want to be better as well. I kind of didn't like Great in the first timeline, but I guess he tried to be better in the end. Well, but the first timeline is the timeline he's in right now. So yeah, he did try to be better in the end. I think actually I'm so glad that he went to the police because literally until the end, until we saw him go to the police station, it was just me being mad that he didn't get arrested for all the crimes that he committed. And I was like, are we just gonna brush it off? Is Bianca just gonna be like, oh, we're gonna forget that this man committed crimes? And yeah, he didn't even like pay for hit and run. He hit and run. He didn't pay for that. So I'm sorry, but like there's no way this man is not going to end up in jail for the rest of his life. Like he committed a hit and run and then accomplice to murder. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but in my book, that is like 20 years in jail. That's really, it's like a mafia beer Christmas Carol. Yeah, the love for each other was in their hearts, but they never had the moments. Yeah, so it was just in their hearts. Yeah. So it was kind of like soulmate, like destiny soulmate, because they actually never really truly dated and they still were like drawn to each other because of the fate. It was really like about fate. I knew the only character that made sense, Tonkla, was going to be killed. I think that's, okay, the reason why I think I didn't cry is because I knew, I mean, we talked about it last week. I told you, Tonkla is either ending up in jail or dying because there's no way out for him. So really, my thought was he's gonna die because I don't think Tonkla would let himself go to jail. So I kind of already knew all along Tonkla was gonna die. That's why I didn't feel that much like sorrow when he died, because I think it was very premeditated. Like I knew it was coming all along, so I wasn't that affected by his death. Though the fact that it's the police officer that killed him, that police officer is so freaking useless. I could talk for 1 hour about how useless this character is. He was so bad at his job, didn't uncover anything, and in the end literally killed someone. What's even the point of that boy? Boy is the worst police officer I've ever seen in my life. And I watch, as you know, I watch all the crime dramas, crime K-dramas, crime like everything, like NCIS, Bones, like I watch that. So I know my crimes. That police officer was bad. I believe they didn't deliver the right project for Bible we've been experiencing at this time. Bible was still like he killed this role, like still. He played the character so well. I was like perfect character for him. I wanted Tonkla to be the only survivor, not gonna lie. Me too. I was really rooting, okay. I really wanted Tonkla to go on a rampage and literally kill everyone and him being the only survivor. And then a shot of him in the end with everyone dead and him being taken by police and smiling like kind of a psychopath. To the end, I wish Tonkla would have been a psychopath. The policeman Win killed Tongkla. It's like the previous life when T killed Wyatt. Oh, you're so right. Korn's first reaction was to kill the police when he heard Tongkla kills the brother. Okay, Annie, you're so right. This was me when I watched this. Okay, I don't know. How do you guys feel about Korn and Tongkla? Because I was just baffled. If you think about it, Tongkla and Korn, they were not together during this entire show. They were not together. They were together for part 1 of episode 1, and I thought that was like sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. All we had of them being in love was a flashback. That was the only thing we had of them being in love. In this entire timeline, without, like, remove the flashback, remove the memory of them falling in love. Why exactly do they love each other? They both cheat on each other. They both lie to each other. Korn is not there for Tongkla when he needs him. Tongkla kind of moves on. And then in the end, they run to each other and kiss? I was like, excuse me? You literally go and kiss that man after you know he cheated on you. He doesn't take your phone when your brother dies. You literally kick him out of your house. Then you kill his brother and then you kiss him? What? I was just like, what? And this is why I thought Tongkla was a psychopath. Because I was like, there is no way a normal person would do all of that in that order. There's just no way. I think Korn did love Tongkla in a way. In a way, yeah, in a way. But I did believe that Korn loved Tongkla in a way, even though he did not care for him this entire show. But I thought Tongkla was better than this. Tongkla, you're the MVP of this show. You don't need no man. You don't need Mr. Korn. I know he's gorgeous and his butt looks really nice. But why you run back to him? Why? You literally just killed his brother. You thought you could run together to the sunset after you murdered his brother? But also the crazy thing is that then Tongkla, Mr. Tongkla says, "You're right. I shot your brother." And Korn's response to that is, "Oh, I love this man so much. Let me die with him." What? That is some Romeo and Juliet. What even is this? Korn literally. I understood that. I knew straight away. As soon as Tongkla died, I knew straight away Korn was gonna unalive himself. But I didn't think he was going to do it for love because he had a flashback of them. Oh my God, guys, that flashback. Okay, so as soon as Tongkla dies and we get that flashback of them in bed when he says, "Let's run away together," I thought, oh, 4th timeline. Oh my God. This never happened. They didn't die because we went back to the past and they actually ran away together. So all of this never happened. So they're not dead. This was my Delulu brain. My Delulu brain was ready. She was like, oh, this is a what if moment. I really love the what if moments they gave us. They gave us what if moments for every character. I was like, why are you kissing? Yeah, me too. I was like, that kiss is good. I understand. Your man is gorgeous, but why are you kissing him? You can do better. You can do better. But the underwater gray time kiss. Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. They really said, "I told Sunset about you." It was the same shot as "I told Sunset about you." I hope Jack and Joker can heal my broken heart. Yes, please. Tongkla didn't care a bit for the police officer. That was a bit of a shocker. No, I don't think that was a shocker though, because he clearly didn't really. We saw that the police officer was obsessed with him for some reason, but Tongkla, even when he was doing it with the police officer, was still thinking about Korn. So that made a bit of sense. If their childhood didn't matter to the plot, then why show those scenes? My question. Maria, my question exactly. I can't read your comments. I have a question. This fish actually love corn? Fasai? Huh? Did the flashback mean they have 4 minutes as well? I'd like to believe. When I said Picorn, I killed innocently. I was like, oh, this must be his bipolar. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Tunkla is a psychopath. He has been using corn. He can't be a psychopath though because he actually had feelings for the cat, and a psychopath doesn't have feelings. So if he was an actual psychopath, he wouldn't have been sad when the cat died. So I think showing us the cat dying was them telling us he's not a psychopath. Even though I think it would have been great if he was a psychopath. Imagine the plot twist if he was like, you know, when we had this flashback of him burying the cat. Imagine then we had a flashback and he was the one who killed the cat. And because he's a psychopath, he was faking being sad. That would have been epic. I think they should have made him a psychopath, to be honest. I'm like ready for a psychopath character. It did not care about the police officer, yeah. It reminded me of X-Files show. Oh, yes. Tunkla and Korn being the Romeo and Juliet. Bangkok looked amazing. Yes, it did. They had a really amazing shot. But also, we kind of never really uncover the gambling ring. Like, we never really closed the loop. Really, like, I don't know. There's just so much that was left unresolved. But also, even though it was resolved, it was way too fast. Because I think we never actually had enough time with our main characters, with Tom and Great, to actually care for them. I think they needed one more episode of just Great and Time. Because I think every episode was so focused on everything around that Great and Time were kind of like on the side, and in the end, there was not enough strong connection for us because there was not enough time. I think this is the only downside of this show. It's too short. And there are some shows that actually don't work if they're too short. And this is one of the shows that I think kind of, because it was too short, it didn't go to the full potential that it could have been. It should have been a 10, 12 episode, yes. Even 12, I feel like 12 could even be too long. So I think 10. 2 more episodes of 1 hour. That's what we needed. We should get a proper closure. What happened to the whole gambling ring? What happened to the victims? How they were... Yeah, we don't know. And also... Wait, I wanted to say something else. Oh, yeah. Guys, I think our second doctor did his research right on the 4 minutes. That was so irrelevant to the plot, did not add anything to the plot, except that the Time found out he was in the loop because the doctor says, Time, you're in the 4 minutes. Get out of there. First of all, how do you know he's in the 4 minutes? Does everyone in the universe go for 4 minutes before they die? That was so out of pocket of him being like, hey, I did an entire research and some people have 4 minutes before they die. And I'm like, what? Like him screaming, you have 4 minutes, get out of there. You're not in real. Like, how does he know about this? Did he actually do a research and know that people that are near-death experience are stuck in the loop? No, he doesn't know because we never actually saw his freaking research. What was the point of the whole research? We never even saw the freaking research. What did he research? How did he come to a conclusion? How did he like tell Time, hey, you're stuck in the loop, come out? Like, how do you know he's in the loop in the first place? Because people that are in the loop don't even know they're in the loop. So the whole thing, I said it from episode 1, I thought that whole thing of the research made no sense, especially because he's a doctor are based on science, and him researching an afterlife loop imaginary, that is not like doctor-like. So I never got on board with the research thing, and I think even in the end, the research didn't even help. I was like, maybe the research is actually gonna help. No, it didn't. And him then dating that woman, like, a doctor dating his patient? No, I watched Grey's Anatomy. You're not allowed. So I was like, what's the point of that whole thing? I don't know. This could have been completely removed. Remove that entire part and give us more Great in Time. Done. Okay, they were trying to save Nan for so long, but she was another Ponti's character. Yeah, because in the end she died. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, plot hole just came to mind. So you know the gambling ring, it got out because Nan survived, because Great went back in time, saved Nan got the file, and then at the hospital she releases it, right? But that's in his head. We're in the original timeline. In the original timeline, Nan is dead. And there's no proof. We never got the file. So how does the gambling ring got out? How did it get shut down? Did I miss something? How did the gambling ring get shut down if Nan is dead? Is this a plot hole? Is this a plot hole I just found? Time travel shows are so complicated that I need a plot viz, not a university engineer, so please you to write a series go for unusual plots. Dr. Den shares his research with Kim from Kim Porsche. His research helped him flirt with his patients, right? That was the plot. The research was just so he could get in the girl's pants. Useless. Our brain gets 4 minutes before death, and it's assumed we go through our precious moment. But it's assumed, it's an assumption, right? You cannot prove it scientifically. People can like say, hey, okay, there's actually people that died and then come back to life and say they saw their body, right? But like, you can't prove it. It's not scientifical. You can't prove it. So a doctor could never research that. Imagine you literally go to your doctor and he says, yeah, I'm researching people that die and then float on top of their body. I'll be like, okay, how are you going to research that, mister? Are you going to kill people to try and find out? Like, huh? In the original timeline, Titan did release the data. Oh, he did? I do not remember that. I don't remember that at all. Did he? There's a part about being 4 minutes in the different. Only Lukwa and Great because they sort of heard that in the gallery. Yeah, right? It's kind of like, it was kind of brushed. I think we need to rewatch. I think we do need to rewatch from episode 1. Because we need to rewatch the original timeline without him going back to the past, which is the original timeline that happened. I'm going to have to rewatch the series over and over. I'm definitely going to rewatch it. Like, maybe I'm going to wait like a month and then I'll rewatch it. I give this show 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is too low, I feel like. It's too low. I think this show is 8.7 out of 10, but could have been 10 out of 10, but it isn't. Because I think there's a lot of things that don't make sense, but it's still such a great show. Like, you can't deny the quality of the show they gave us. Like, the quality is top notch. The acting, the quality, the plot, the storyline, like everything is just so great. I mean, you can't deny. The cast is 10 out of 10. Yes. Also, Dan, what's the name of Tonkla actor? What's his name? Dan. I need to rewatch Dead Friend Forever because I think I didn't pay enough attention to him. Fuaiz? How do I pronounce it? Fuaiz? Phase? Is it phase? Wow. Fuaiz? Really? Damn, that boy, Bianca needs to really put all of their money on him and on... is Barcode still with Beyond Cloud? Because Beyond Cloud, if you think about it, Beyond Cloud literally snatched the most amazing actors. And also, can you think about like all these actors are first-time actors? Let's talk for a second. Bible, first-time actor. Mile, first-time actor. Barcode, first-time actor. Fuaiz, first-time actor. Like, damn, Beyond Cloud knows talent. They really say, we know the potential you have. He left, Barcode got out. Ah, damn it. Oh, he did. Beyond Cloud losing all of their best actor. I want Jes Bible in another series. The chemistry is something. Yeah, the chemistry was great, but they didn't have enough time to build the chemistry, actually. Because when I watched the trailer, I really thought we were going to get that build-up. This show didn't actually have a build-up. It didn't have, like... There's a part of me that think we should have seen the original timeline first. So we could have seen them do it first when they were not in love, when they were at the bar, and then build up, and then have that emotional scene where they fell in love in the second timeline. Because then that would have built up. But I feel like the build-up was okay, but it could have been better. And I really do hope that they get more shows together. But I don't mind. Like, I'm like someone who doesn't care if people get mixed together. I don't care for ship. I think, especially with Beyond Cloud, I feel like they could mix and match everyone, and everyone would have chemistry with everyone, literally. Like, they're all so great. Also, the actor who plays Korn, wow. Bas, right? Wow, that man. I did not pay enough attention to him in Kim Porsche. Who did he even play in Kim Porsche? I don't even remember. I need to rewatch Kim Porsche and Dead Friend Forever. But damn, wow. The acting was insane. He was amazing. And he has such charisma. Like, wow. The amount of charisma the Beyond Cloud actors have is kind of insane. You know, I feel like in the BL world, a lot of actors are kind of trying to get that charisma, but you can tell that they're trying, while some other people, they don't try. The charisma is there. It's just there. Like, it's just there. If Barcode joins GMMTV, no, Barcode should never join GMMTV. Are you for real? No. Barcode, stay independent. You better just join Jeff and his Saturn thing, because no. GMMTV would never, like, I think all the actors that join GMMTV, like the actual actors that are established actors and then join GMMTV, I think it's such a downgrade. Joining GMMTV to me is a downgrade. Like, all of our Until We Meet Again, Boon, Prem, all of this, I think it's a downgrade for them to join GMMTV, because now they're going to be passive actors, while when they were like with the other company, they were the main actors. But now in GMMTV, there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of actors. So if you join GMMTV, you're going to be put at the back. You're not going to be in the front. It would be smarter for you to join a new like where there's not that many people, because GMT has too many actors. Why would you want to join them? You're just going to be one more actor that's not going to get any roles, literally. Beyond Cloud doesn't have that many actors, but still, they did the show. What was the show called? The show that they did the character, the hidden character. And then they started getting like so many new actors. But though I think the new actors of Beyond Cloud, they were not as good as the old actors, but now I really did enjoy even the guy that plays Title. I thought he was good in this, but he did play the similar role to Dead Friend Forever. So I think his range couldn't show much of his range because to me, the guy who plays Title had the same character-wise role as Dead Friend Forever. He played the same. Bas in Manswang. Oh, I still haven't watched that, guys. I need to watch it. I literally still haven't watched that. GMT collect all ohms and marks. That's so true. Most of them are in the refrigerator of GMM waiting for their series. Literally. If you join GMT, you have less chance of being in a main character in a BL. You're probably going to be a side character. GMT is all about getting popularity. Yeah, but also GMTV is on another level. Beyond Cloud is more of an independent. I see Beyond Cloud as the indie cinema and GMMTV as the typical Hollywood, factory, money factory. Okay, wow, okay. So I wonder, have I covered everything? Was everything else I wanted to cover? I kind of covered all my grounds here. I think I did. I think we talked about everything, right? I still think it's kind of unrealistic that both Great and Time got shot multiple times and have no wounds and are just walking fine. At least give them like crutches or something. Though that shot at the end, the shot in the bark where it's above from the drone, it really reminded me of Kim Porsche. Also, them using the Kim Porsche song, I was like, is it a good idea or is it not? Because I think using a Kim Porsche song is kind of I was like, I see what you're doing there, Beyond Cloud. You're basically rubbing again that I'm not getting Kim Porsche season 2 in my face. Lydia should give Papeng a main role. Well, okay, so if I were to make my own company, here is all the actors I would hire. Some actors, they don't need to leave their own company because I think they're already doing well, but Papeng would definitely be in my company. I would get Bilkin and Pipi in my company. I would get Bible in my company. I would get the actor that plays Tonkla in my company. I would get so many like good actors. I'm trying to think of who are like really good. Kuhart. Oh my god. Yes, Kuhart. Who else would I get in my company? I mean, a bunch of people from GMT, to be honest. Jenny, underutilized. Jenny, I would get her. Definitely get like a bunch of people. I'm like, why are these people not having main role? Like, Awu and Boom should get their own series by now. Like, Zinunu. Well, Zinunu, they're doing fine. They don't need me. They don't need me in my company. Like, they'd be like, sorry, Lydia, we don't want to join your company. We're too good for you. I'm talking about the actors that are underutilized that I would put in my company and make shine. Because nobody, like, kind of cares for them anymore. I didn't like the use of Why Don't You Stay? Okay, see, I'm kind of torn about this. There's a part of me that really loved it, and when it started playing, it really got me in my feels. But there's a part of me that thinks, it's not Kim Porsche. Why you do a new song? But then if they had played a new Jeff song, like if they had played like Dum Dum or Ghost, if you wanted to use a Jeff song, use a new Jeff song. Yellow Leaf, you should have used that. I thought they could have just made another song. Yeah, it's true. Net. I thought I don't know them enough, but when I watched their series, I wasn't like blown away. The last song was like in such X vibe with Dancing in the Devil. Yeah, so true. Dancing in the Devil. But yeah, that shot at the end also was the same shot from Kin Porsche when Kin and Porsche are, you know, they have the handcuffs and they're sleeping in the wild, and then the shot goes up. That was the same shot in the end. The OST of 4 minutes. Do I even know the OST of 4 minutes? I don't even know. Do they have an official OST out? I don't think I've watched that. Have I? Zianunu would get you without money very soon. First and Cow are doing fine. They're getting all the main roles in GMMTV. They don't need to leave. They're doing fine. They don't need to leave. There needs to be a new song for new series I also believe, because you want a series to stand on its own and be known for one thing. And Kin Porsche is known for Why Don't You Stay? And so putting that song, who's literally associated with Kin Porsche, makes 4 minutes associated with Kin Porsche, which I don't think you should do. But I did enjoy it when it played in my ears. I'm not gonna lie. Lydia, do you plan to do any other live after BL episode in future? Well, I wanted to do one after Jack and Joker, but I was so surprised nobody's watching my reaction, like literally. And also I saw the ratings and apparently people don't even like the show. I thought it was gonna be like one of the biggest show of the year, and I barely got 1,000 views on my reaction. I mean, my Sunset X Vibes reaction, I get like 40,000 views. And Jack and Joker, who's 20 times better, I barely get enough views. So to me, if I don't get views, it means people are not interested. Jack and Joker live recap, please. It does, like, it starts at 5:15, yeah, on Monday. Only so positive reaction to Jack and Joker. Yeah, but like the reviews, I'm talking about the reviews, but also I also compare, like, I can tell how people like shows depending on who watches my reaction, like the number of views. Obviously, if my Kim Porsche reactions, I used to get like, my Kim Porsche reactions, I think, had like 300,000 views, right? That was like a moment. Everyone was watching the episode, then everyone was waiting for reactions, everyone was waiting to talk about it. And then Only Friends, I was doing live, everyone was talking about it, people were watching the episode, reactors, they were watching edits, moments, blah blah blah, like. But then other shows, some people don't care about them, and I can tell by the amount of views that I get what shows do well and what shows don't. And like some of the shows that do really really well on my channel that I do reactions for are usually mediocre shows, like Sunset X Vibes, OMG Vampire, like all of those shows that are okay shows, they get so many views. And then the shows that are amazing, like the only one 4 minutes, they barely get any views, which I find is very interesting because I don't understand. To me, it really shows that a lot of people actually watch BLs not for the quality, but for, you know, most people, I'm guessing most people don't watch BLs for the plot, they watch BLs for the ship. So I think the Yin and War ship right now, because they haven't been in a series in so long, people don't really care that much for that anymore. People have moved on from Love Mechanics, I feel like. So I feel like if I was going to go on live on Monday, literally I would have like 5 people on the live. I love Moss Bank, but that show, not it. Let's focus on 4 minutes. We'll catch up on Jack and Joker now. Yes. 4 minutes is now. I actually thought 4 minutes would do better than it did, because if you look at the numbers, if you look at, you remember when Kin Porsche aired, Beyondclad was releasing almost every week those little episodes of the cast doing games. I reacted to like all the games and things like that, and those would get so many views. Like a Mile Apple interview would get like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. But in 4 minutes, I was watching like Jes and Bible interviews, and they barely have views. Like there was a Jes and Bible interview, and it had like 12,000 views. I was like, why is no one watching their interview? And I was like so intrigued, because I'm like, to me, 4 minutes is on the same level as Kin Porsche. So I don't know why people are not as interested in 4 minutes. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that they don't want Bible to be without that other man I will not name. But I don't know. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's because people don't want Bible to be with a new ship. I don't know. But yeah, I think like 4 minutes is not doing as well as I thought it would do, especially when I watch like the content that they release on Beyondclad. If you watch Beyondclad channel and you watch their videos that they release, they barely have views. They're struggling to get the views. But if you watch the videos when Kin Porsche was airing, their videos were getting like almost millions of views. You think it was just the number of episodes? Yeah, Kin Porsche had how many episodes? Like 13? It had more than 12, right? Kin Porsche was like more detailed, in depth. And it also has larger casts. Mm. 14 episodes? Wow. Yeah. Maybe that's why, because people stayed longer with them, so they got like more involved with the characters and involved with the actors. Anyways, I'm gonna go. It's been 1 hour. I'm gonna have my dinner. I'm gonna miss this. I'm gonna miss this. I really love this show. I'm in need of an action type BL. Like, y'all know I really love action. And Jack and Joker is action, but it's not as action-packed as I thought it would be. But I think episode 2 of Jack and Joker is going to be even more action, because now Jack has actually joined the mafia. So I'm hoping of like lots of action. But yeah, my new favorite is going to be Jack and Joker. Maybe they signed up for 10 episodes and then they reduced it to 8. It could also be, to be honest, because they don't have the funds or the budget. Because if you think about it, they only had one sponsorship, right? It was the cat food sponsorship. It's not that many. I don't know how they're sponsoring their shows, but maybe they didn't have enough money to do 10. Definitely looking forward to Jack and Joker. Yes. Did you watch Kidnap episode 2? Yes, my reaction is already on my Patreon. I really loved it. Oh yes, they do have Durax. Though I was wondering if Durax was actually not even sponsored. It was just them showing them. 4 minutes was so beautiful. I look forward to the Friday so much, right? Kidnap is GMMTV good, not Beyond good. Oh yeah, I do feel that. It is GMMTV good. Is it Beyond good? You're so right. Okay, anyways, bye-bye. Make sure, again, guys, please make sure to like this video, because all you have to do to help me is comment, because comments help me with algorithm. So comment, tons of comments. If you want to comment like 10 comments, do it. It's free. And subscribe and give this video a like. And that's all you got to do to support me. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.